the ability for you guys to ask questions, of course. We can use all three of these mics if you'd like. Whoever is lined up, if you could, behind the person speaking, just make sure you crouch down. That way there's no visuals being blocked. And then also, just don't ask for any hugs or selfies or that kind of thing. He'll be in the exhibitor hall, so you can do that at that time. But just for this, we just want you guys to ask nice, family-friendly questions to the awesome guy, all right? You guys feeling good?
Yes.
Okay, good. Also, one question per person, just so we can get things rolling as well. Cool. All right, so without further ado, I want you all to stomp your feet. Stomp your feet. Good. Get your hands clapping. Keep yourselves cheering.
What's going on? How you guys doing this morning? Oh man, how are you guys awake? I'm definitely not. Well, I usually like to start off with with 3 awesome, four awesome words. That's right, it's early. What time is it?
Panther time!
You're not too Voltron fans. Sweet. Well, yeah, that's pretty much the whole panel. So.
That's what Jerry Shada
So pretty much, I think we're just gonna be doing like Q&A, right? Question and answers. So all those, like weird questions that you probably shouldn't ask someone. Go ahead, ask them. Stand up and form a line.
Yeah, we got some started right here. So we'll start off with you right there in the center.
She was on it.
Yeah.
Is it hard to be sad when voice acting? And it's more of a 1 and 2 question. The second question is, what was the saddest scene in Adventure Time and why?
Phew, man, we're starting off on a real note. It's in acting when you're playing a sad scene. Obviously, you're trying just to be kind of be emotional and make sure that it sounds real because that's the characters. You're playing every scene as genuinely as you can anyway. But sad scenes, it's not. I would never say it's like hard to do. It's just different. You're sitting kind of in a different headspace. You're just trying to be emotional and real and kind of almost uncontrolled in a certain way, and more kind of spontaneous in that way. And what's the saddest scene I've ever recorded in Adventure Time? Gosh, there's a lot. I think there's a couple scenes. I think one of them when I feel like there was a scene where basically playing princesses didn't break up, and it was like anytime it gets to full on crying is always those things are pretty crazy. I guess for me one of the saddest scenes is where Finn meets his dad finally, and then he's his dad's kind of shooting off on the whole starship thing, and the grass sword arm kind of takes over to hold on, and it explodes, and Finn comes falling back to the ground, and he's just lost his arm. This is not sounding like a kid show when you're trying to that's a pretty sad scene. It's a pretty emotional scene, but yeah, thank you.
We had some part of it. Yeah, over here.
In honor of season 3 of Voltron coming out soon, what do you hope for Lance's character in the future?
Ooh, good question. By the way, is that a guitar cosplay?
Yes.
Frick yeah. What I hope for Lance's character in season 3? I hope that he stays exactly how he is. No, he's ashamedly himself, which is always great, but I think the nice thing is, especially with Shiro kind of disappearing, I think in this season or the next 2 seasons, they're having the 4th one in October. I think you'll see a lot of the other characters kind of have to step up and take a lot more responsibility because there's kind of this void there now. And it's interesting seeing them figuring out how to work together without having that person that kind of brought them together. And so Lance will kind of step up and do a little bit of that for sure. He has definitely a more sensitive, serious side to him that we don't get to see all the time because he's season more of that. But there's still lots of ladies that he's flirting with, and still do that. And that's why. What's up, little dude? Oh, there's 3 lines.
Yeah,
Wow. That's okay.
Okay, so between Adventure Time and Voltron, which one do you like better?
Don't be that guy. That's terrible. I probably won't answer that. I mean, like, it's also, they're different shows, you know? And so, Adventure Time on one hand, I've been doing it for, from 12 to, we finished our last episode earlier this year when I was 20, so like 8 years. So I kind of grew up doing Finn almost every single Tuesday afternoon for like 8 years. And so that had always hold a special place when you grew up with something. But at the same time, they're both very different shows. I absolutely love doing Voltron and I love playing Lance because he just so many great like one-liners in the booth. I love obviously that cast is awesome. And I love playing that role and basically just kind of playing the people that are around me and just trying to make them laugh. Because when they're laughing, you're like, okay, cool, we got a good take. I love everything that has action and stuff. And Voltron's so fun for me as a fan because I was a huge fan of like Last Airbender, Legend of Korra growing up. The creative team behind those shows do Voltron. Same art style, same kind of mixture of really great comedy with like this awesome serious moments. And so for me as a fan, it's like super cool getting to be a part of one of those shows. So they both are awesome for different reasons.
Any such for you?
Why did Finn have a fear of water? And is there like a backstory?
Water's scary. Dude, I don't know. I mean, I think it's an actual phobia. I feel like it's probably, so there's someone who actually is smarter than no science in this room that's not me, because I don't. But I think there's a term for it. But man, have you ever, water phobia.
There is.
It's a water phobia. And there is actually a backstory reason. I think Finn, this has been said in the show. Yeah, that's okay. Finn, I think, was born at sea during like a storm. And so that just like that kind of experience him like as a little kid basically just kind of subconsciously grew into this fear later on. But man, have you like ever seen the freaking creatures that are below the deep ocean? You can't see below you, man. You don't know what's down there. It's scary. It's very scary. I don't know if you're water like that, but there's crazy stuff down there. So,
Over here. Over here.
When did you first decide that you wanted to do voice acting for a living?
I started acting in general in all the ways and forms when I was about 5 or 6 years old. And my older brother, Zach, had we lived in LA, he had just basically his first job and shot something and I was like, oh my gosh, that's super cool because little kid loved movies and TV shows and everything. And so I kind of wanted to start doing it too, and then talked to the agent he was with, and started going out and stuff over time. And then when I was about 7 or 8, I had done some, on camera commercials and stuff like that. And then there's a voiceover department at the agency, and when you're a little kid, you're not thinking oh, hey, I'm gonna go be a voiceover person. That's not a thing you think of. You just think that's a cartoon, and that's what it is. But they had a VO department at the agency I was at, and so I started going out for VO little commercials, radio spots and stuff like that, and just kind of work my way up over time. But for me, I've always loved the industry, just entertainment in general, whether it be animation, on camera, music. It's just I've always been a very creative person that way. I've always loved it, so I loved it when I was little, and I continue to love it. And for me, I'm just really happy and blessed to be able to actually make it into a career path and get to do what I love. It's been a long road. I've been doing it for 14 years now. So yeah, let's get to it.
Over here.
Hello. So I have a question about, I don't know if you're allowed to talk about this, but Incredible Crew. Why, do you know, I saw, when I looked it up, it said low ratings was why it was canceled, but what did they tell you?
That's not actually, no. No, I can talk about it. You're fine. It ultimately, not on contract anymore, so it doesn't matter. Ultimately, the show actually was doing extremely well, and it was actually doing a lot better than Nick and Disney Disney shows at the time. It had something like, I think I want to say like a tight, like between one season, but like 2 or 3 million viewers, and its ratings were better than pretty much all the big Disney shows at the time. The only reason they canceled it was literally for the sole purpose that Cartoon Network, after they'd already made a full season, decided, we don't really want to do live action, probably shouldn't be doing that, and they just stopped doing it. Unfortunately, because it was a lot of fun. It was a really fun show, it was doing really well, and yeah, that's pretty much what it came down to, so what are you gonna do? So, yeah. By the way, what's your cosplay?
Oh, Preston Garvey.
Is that from, oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, from Fall Apart. Yeah.
Here in the center.
What's your favorite type of cheesecake?
Oreo.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I've never had that question before, I can confidently say, so thank you.
Here.
If you had to decide, would you choose Finn to end up with Flame Princess or Princess Bubblegum?
What a choice. I would say Flame Princess.
Over here.
What is your favorite Adventure Time song?
I really love the bacon and pancake sausage. It's just a cute little ditty. It was not my favorite when I initially did it, but over time, because people have grown to love it so much, it's really fun. Is the Buck Baby song. Over time, so yeah, that's my song. Would you like me to sing it? I figured. All right, here. My baby thin voice.
I'm a tough to baby, I can dance like a man. I can shake your body, baby, I can shake your back can. I'm a tough baby, I can punch all your buns. Punch all your buns, I can punch all your buns. If you're an evil witch, I will punch you for fun.
These questions are always a good segue to get someone to sing.
You offered.
I did offer, because I know what the question that usually comes after is, oh, well, what are you singing?
Here in the center.
Hi, you're amazing. But my question is, I have 2. What's your favorite part about being a voice actor, and how do Jake's bacon pancakes actually taste?
I'm about to get lambasted here. I've never had bacon pancakes in real life.
I've made them before.
I know. I've heard they're great. I keep hearing they're really great. I'm just too lazy to go and make them. And what was the first question?
What's your favorite part about being a voice actor?
Yeah. For me, my favorite part about being a voice actor, or just an actor in general, I do on camera as well, is it's just fun. I mean, like, it's not always the easy. I mean, I always say that it's one of those jobs where, like, if you didn't enjoy doing it, it would be like the worst job in the world. But I love doing it. I love being these characters, and the cast that you get to work with, the people you get to work with are just awesome. And it's just, yeah, it's fun. It's what I love doing it. And because I love doing this type of thing, and just being creative, and getting to be these different characters, and be something that's not your regular everyday self, you know? Maybe like Finn or Lance, and just those characters. Where I'm doing a show right now, it's a live action show called This Should Be My President. It's literally why I took a red eye out here on Friday night. I came straight from set shooting to red eye here, and then I go back tonight before I start shooting tomorrow morning. Crazy. Is like all those characters are so different in a lot of ways than like what I am. I mean, you take situations like, oh, how would I react to this situation? You kind of put that in, but it's fun just getting to be something different. You know, it's why like when you're a little kid, you like kind of playing cops and robbers or whatever else. And it's why you ultimately it's just like escapism. You know, it's why you love going to see these awesome movies for 2 hours and kind of getting out of whatever your mundane normalcy is, and getting to create something and see something that's really cool. So that's what I love doing about it. You get to work with really awesome people, and it's fun. Yeah.
Sweet, thank you.
You're welcome.
Rick?
Oh, hi. 1 out of 10, how excited were you to voice act in Surfmania 2 Wave Mania?
Oh, Surf's Up too. Oh, for sure. 10. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I loved the first movie growing up. It's like it's such a funny animated film, and so when I got to do that, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I mean, and the penguins were just awesome. So I'm an animation penguin now, so that's fun. It was great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Over here.
Hi, Jeremy.
Hello. Who's this little dude?
This is Freddie. Yesterday was his very first birthday.
Aww. Happy birthday, little guy.
And today is his father's birthday. He's over here hiding in the Megman shirt. His name is Charlie. I was wondering if it'd be okay if we sing happy birthday to him.
Oh, yes, we can. Of course. Would you guys like to sing with me?
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Charlie. Happy birthday to you. Freddie was doing it on the board.
Yeah.
In the second.
Hi, I wanted to ask, what's something you wish you could partake in either animated or live action?
Oh, that's an endless list. A lot of things. Animation-wise, I guess the pinnacle for, I mean, I've always if I could do a voice in like a Pixar movie, that would be awesome. You know, little me growing up loved all of those, so that would be super cool. And on the on-camera side, I don't even know, gosh. Star Wars. That's probably the local answer, but for real though, yeah, I'm the biggest Star Wars nerd in the world. I grew up at like the perfect time because when I was little, they were re-releasing all the originals in theaters, and so I watched all those in theater, and then they released all the prequels in theaters, and I watched all those in theaters as a little kid. And then obviously now we have a Star Wars film every single year for the foreseeable future. So yes, yeah, so definitely that, or anything Marvel or DC. So yeah, all the comic book or Star Wars.
I was surprised to find out that Dalton Ward is pretty close friends with Justin Roiland, the creator of Rick and Morty, and also Alex Hirsch, who makes Gravity Falls,
Yep.
which leads to a lot of like crossover work in that he like a shared universe with them. Like, what do you think of that?
Oh, if they like crossed over and stuff.
Yeah.
Did they have we crossed over in those? I think you haven't, but I don't know.
It's a very adult show.
Yeah, it's on Adult Swim. I mean, I think if they ever were to do that type of stuff, it's always in kind of more tongue-in-cheek ways. I think we had a little crossover with Futurama because there's like a Futurama episode where I think Bender walks down to this like basement dungeon and Finn and Jake are like up changing a wall or something, and then Jake is like, "What time is it?" And Bender's like, "Shut your mouth," or whatever. And I think like those kind of the little tongue-in-cheek kind of references like that are always fun. They're definitely always fun for fans and fun for everyone. A lot of the time they won't do like a full-on crossover just because it's really tough to do, just from a logistical standpoint. And some people don't want to because their worlds are very separate for a reason. And then they do the crossover, and it's like, oh, this also all takes place in the same.
Yeah.
And it comes into the whole thing. But I love working with those people on in other forms, and like coming to do little fun things with them in the context of their shows. So for sure. Yeah, you're welcome.
Over here.
Who's your favorite Adventure Time character other than yourself?
Other than me, yeah. Probably either Lumpy Space Princess or Ice King.
Yes.
Or yeah.
Thank you.
I love both of them. Their faves.
Here.
Hello. Thanks for coming. I was so happy with the birthday stream. I baked plants of cake.
Oh, did you really?
Yes, I did.
Was it good?
Yes.
What kind of cake was it?
It was shortbread with a mirror glaze. It looked like a little planet.
Oh,
A little winter flag and everything.
Oh, yes. That's great.
All right, my question is, what is Lance's favorite meme And by extension, what is your favorite meme?
Oh gosh. I don't even know. I don't. This is the only thing I can even think of right now. Because I'm so not like good on the memes.
That's fine.
I just saw this one meme one time, and it was a picture of like a two-story house with like a pool next to it, and there's a guy that like clearly just jumped out of the second-story window, but he's like riding a what's it called? A broomstick, like Harry Potter. A broomstick, and he's like this, like outside the second story, like he's trying to look like he like is flying, and the caption just says, "This is why women live longer than men." That's my favorite all that I've ever seen. It's so great.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Over here.
Hello.
What's up?
My question would have to be voice acting with lemongrass. How was it?
Great. Justin Roiland, who plays Lemongrass, is also, I think he plays Rick and Morgan, because he also wrote that show. He's super funny. It's such a shrill voice in the studio, but it's really funny. Unacceptable! It's great. He's a super nice guy too, so it's always fun. I mean, pretty much everybody that we have on our show, I think, along the way with, they're all very, very fun people, and so it's a good environment.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to know what your favorite Adventure Time episode is.
Ooh, there's a lot. Literally, I think 284.
Yeah,
By the time we finished recording, it was like 284. Oh gosh, it's so hard to remember all of them. I think one of my faves though is the Trouble in Lumpy Space episode. It's super OG. But it's just fun because, I mean, me and John getting to do our impressions of, Penn's Lumpy Space voice was just a lot of fun. So that one's my favorite. I also love the Incendium episode, which is the one with the first one, Flame Princess, where Jake is like basically going and trying to like court her for Finn. That one's a lot of fun too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I wanted to ask, what was your favorite time playing as Finn? Or favorite season?
I really I love the Marceline miniseries, mainly because I didn't have to do that much. I was just kind of sitting there. Kidding, not kidding. But no. I don't really know. I mean, when you're doing it in the way that we recorded it, it's hard to remember on a season by season basis because it honestly all kind of runs together for us. We wouldn't really have these big breaks between seasons. We pretty much just do an episode a week continuously, and then maybe every 5 or 6 we'd have 1 week off, and then in between seasons we might have 2 weeks, but then we'd be right back to it for us recording wise. And so it just kind of felt like a year-round thing the whole 8 years. So it's hard for me to even remember season breaks. But I really like the last season. Is really cool actually. I think season 9, which I don't think it started even airing yet. It's fun when you get to that you have this point where you need to get to and you're gonna wrap stuff up, and so you're kind of just bringing everybody back in really good ways and making sure their stories are all wrapped up in an awesome way, and getting to see who you get is always awesome. So that one.
Cool, thanks.
You're welcome.
Hello, what's up?
What's going on?
Okay, my question for you is, when you first auditioned for Adventure Time, what was your first impression of the show? Did you ever think it would turn out as popular as it is now? I had no clue what to think. I was like, this is the weirdest thing that I've ever seen in my life. I have no clue what's happening. When I first auditioned for it, though, there was the original little short, where it was a little short Nickelodeon. And in that short, my older brother Zach actually played the original voice of Penn in the short. And so when I got the audition, it was probably about 3 years after that, Carson Network finally picked it up. And so I watched the short, and my voice sounded so close to what his voice sounded like. And I went back a couple times, got the job. And nobody knew I was his younger brother until the first day before. They just thought they got really lucky with someone who sounded just like the original, and I've done it ever since, obviously. But when you're starting a show, you don't really. I guess the short had like 2 million views or something on YouTube. It was like kind of a little cult hit, but you don't really know what's going to happen. You never expect something to be huge. You always hope that the work that you put in ends up turning into something awesome. But you never. I try not to expect anything really high because there's a lot of things you do that are awesome that never get any traction at all. And so I think it really clicked for me that it was going to be a huge thing when, like, the first time I went to San Diego Comic-Con and we had like massive panel that was completely packed. There was like, they didn't turn away like 100 people. And people just had all their custom cosplays, and there's no merch out at that point, so this was all just like homemade and everything. And it was, and you know, they're like calling people on stage one by one, and then I was the last person to call on stage, and it was like, oh my gosh, like going nuts. And at that point you're like, oh wow, yeah, people actually like the show, cool. And then from there it's just expanded so much, and I finally definitely I get the show for sure. I mean, after it started airing and you started seeing the episodes put together and finished, and you're like, okay, this makes sense now. Like I get it. It is just that awesome blend of that. The art style is so pretty; it just draws you into the world. You want to see all the cool parts of it. And the comedy, there's plenty of comedy in the show that can be understood by any age, but there's also a lot of like over the head humor, which is just fun. It makes it fun for people to watch, you know, different generations at the same time. And then there's also a lot of really deep moments in the show, which is super cool, and it all worked together perfectly to make this awesome show. And yeah.
Oh wow, it's really cool. Like, did you ever think that the show would get as deep as it is?
Not initially, no. I mean, I don't even know if the creators did or not either, because I mean, you never know how long your show's going to go, and so when you're starting, you just kind of you're making like fun episodes, and you think, you know. But then when the show became so huge, they were like, we can start doing like longer storylines, and we can start doing those moments that are deeper. And then that honestly, people even love that almost even more at certain times, and so it just made the show even more huge. And it's really become a full, huge narrative at this point, which is really awesome.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Over here. Thank you.
My first thing is that, like the other girl who made a cake, I also did because I'm trash, but and it was Neapolitan and I loved it. But thank you, I made it. It's great. My question is, I know that representation in media is something that like is now like becoming more of a big thing, and like especially with Cuban lands. I'm Puerto Rican, so it means a lot to me. But like to an actor who's representing this character, what does representation in media mean to you?
Well, I think ultimately for me, whenever you're watching something or you're making a show and casting and stuff, ultimately it always just comes down to like who works best for the role. Usually that's what it should be. It's not always what it ends up being, unfortunately, but I think it's what it should be. And I think when there's times with like those characters that like in the original, it's obviously not clear like what anybody is, and so when you're making these characters, it's fun to flesh them out and make them more unique and diverse. You know, you don't have to, and it works well for each one of their characters. I think like Hunk is Samoan.
Yes.
I think he is supposed to be Caucasian, although I don't really know, to be honest. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what he is. Shiro is Japanese. Lance is Cuban. Pidge is like super sour cream pasty white. Yeah, and then obviously Laura's very, very dark skinned. Brandon's very the opposite. But I mean, you just really have this kind of an awesome diversity to it. It just makes it really fun. I mean, I think as a viewer, it's nice to get to see something that is more diverse like that. When it works and is appropriate in the scenario. And in that scenario, it's in the future, and it's, I mean, like, yeah, there'd be no reason for there not to be that way, you know, so I think it's great. And it's cool, even like Pidge in the original is, I don't know what Pidge is in the original show. Pidge is interesting in the original show. It's kind of like you don't really know what you are. So I love how they made Pidge a girl in this one, and it just works so well for her character. She's so smart and she's awesome. So I love that type of stuff. I'm all for it. And if you can have more of it, it's great. That said, like, there's times when things just work out the way they do, and there's certain characters that end up being things for whatever reason. Sometimes, you know, you'll get cases where something should have been something and they didn't, and it's kind of annoying. and you're like, come on, what are you doing? But yeah, I'm all for it. As long as, for me, the story is the most important part. As long as you're servicing the story in the right way, and you can do that, then it's perfect. If you're going like out of your way to make something work into the story in a way that's like doesn't work and it just kind of feels like forced, that's kind of, for me, like where the line, I guess, kind of gets a little bit weird. But when it just fits the story perfectly and it is servicing the character and making it, and it's working for the character better, and it actually in a lot of ways fully fleshes out the character, then that's the ultimate, obviously.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
This is a question from my friend who sadly could not be here. What is Lance's last name?
I actually don't know. Because in the original, it's McLean.
Yes.
But I don't know if that is still a thing or not in our show. So I don't want to speak on it because I actually don't know.
That's fair.
I don't know if the creators are changing his last name or not. So I don't know. It could be something that might harken more to his Cuban roots, or could still be McLean. I don't really know. So not sure. Ask our showrunners. Ask Joaquin Lauren. Tweet them and ask them. They're the ultimate go-to on that stuff.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
For now, it's just like a one name.
He is just Lance.
Like
That's all
Beyonce
he needs.
or Prince.
Exactly.
That's all you need.
Exactly. All you need is Lance. He's the shark.
Over here.
Okay, so two small important questions. One, will Finn ever grow out his luscious hair again? And two, does he miss the Pillow Kingdom and his Pillow Kids?
Finn will probably definitely grow out his long, luscious, flowing blonde hair. And does he miss the Pillow Kingdom? Yeah? I don't really know. I would assume, I mean, he spent a lot of time there, but it's kind of one of those things where, like, it is kind of, it's almost, it could be a real thing that happened, it could be a dream, you don't really know. I think Finn just pretty much holds it in here as this kind of special little memory for him.
Thank you.
What is some of your favorite series of shows from anime to cartoon to live action?
There's a lot. One of my favorite series right now is Stranger Things.
There we go.
Love that show. I already mentioned earlier, I mean, Star Wars growing up was like the ultimate thing for me. I grew up with two older brothers, so we'd all buy like the plastic lightsabers and like beat the crap out of each other with lightsaber duels. Good times. And growing up, like animation-wise, growing up, I loved Kim Possible. I loved, when I was even younger, I loved watching the Pokemon animated shows, the OG ones. And God, there's like so many more things to sort of think. Even Stevens growing up was when I was little. Teen Titans. Which obviously Mr. Kari Payton is here. He's super awesome. Actually, go say hi to him. A lot of things. And then, I mean, like, I watched like a ton of shows. I mean, even when I was younger, I like to still watch Fringe growing up, Lost, bajillion other things. Right now, I'm also watching. I love Daredevil on Netflix. It's super good. I can't even think. There's just so many more things. There's just so much. There's so much out there. There's so many shows at this point. It's hard to keep up. But yeah, lots of stuff.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I have two questions. One, do you have any like favorite books that you like to do? Because you seem to like comics and movies and stuff, but do you have any favorite books?
Like actual novels. I loved the Chronicles of Narnia books growing up. I think my favorite one was The Magician's Nephew, which is like chronologically is the very first, but he's maybe later on. Is that what you were kind of asking?
Yeah, and also, who is your favorite like voice actor for like Voltron to just work with in general?
I love all of them. That's really hard. Honestly, that cast, we're very, very close. It's like a little family, so I love all of them. For different reasons too. Yeah, I don't know who I love working with every single one of them. I love Bex, I love Josh, Kimberly, Reese, Steven is awesome. Tyler, the whole main cast, even the people who play the villains, we're super good friends with, because obviously they're not villains in real life. Neil, who plays Zarkon, is great, and AJ, who plays Lotor, that's coming up in this next season, and for a lot of stuff after that, is really awesome. Love that guy too. So I mean, I love all of them. They're all super good. We just have a fun time making the show. It's kind of like if someone asks you like, oh, who's your favorite family member? You're like, yeah, they're like family. So I love all of them. It's super fun.
Thank you for playing Lance, because that's the first Cuban character I've ever seen, and I'm Cuban, so I feel very represented.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah. And how is your Spanish going?
No bueno. So yeah, I get asked this occasionally now. Yeah, I didn't know that he was Cuban when we started doing the show. I learned that probably a season or two in, I think. And it made sense to me once I realized that. And they're like, oh yeah, he's this. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But I definitely don't speak Spanish. They wrote in a line, I think, in one of the seasons that was in Spanish. When he was talking about like home, and I was like missing home because we were in space for a long period of time, and we were kind of getting very emotionally and physically just exhausted. And he's talking about home, his grandma, and his family, and everybody. And there's a line that they wrote. It was in Spanish, and I got there and read it, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I'm down to do this line, but can someone please coach me on how to say this properly? Because I'm gonna butcher this if I just read it on the page. And so they ended up just not having me do it at the time, which I'm fine with. I'd love to do it with the character at some point, but it's one of those things where I want to do it right. If that makes sense. I don't want it to say it and be that's the widest read of the space. Which is what it would have sounded like back then. So yeah, I would gladly do it, but I want to do it right. If that makes sense.
Can you roll the R?
I can't.
Okay.
It's you either can or you can't, and I definitely it's as close as I can is which is not really it. Yeah.
Good try.
Are there any inside jokes within the Voltron cast?
Ooh. There's a few. I probably can't say a couple of them here. To be completely honest, but well, actually, one of them is fine. We always joke about the brown lion. That's just a good joke. That's we always. No, actually, not gonna go there. Never mind. No, there's no jokes.
Not until season 7.
Yeah, not until the end of the show. Then I'll tell you then once the show's finished.
Here goes Aja.
Hi. Dang it, did I forget? What is the biggest plot twist you've ever encountered in a voice acting?
On the shows that I get to work on.
Yeah, I guess Adventure Time, because it's longer.
Yeah. Well, I think I briefly mentioned it earlier, but I do think one of the coolest things in Adventure Time is when Finn loses his arm and it's actually going. I mean, you usually don't see that in shows in general. That's a pretty big thing, to happen to your lead character and then keep going with that, especially that far into a show. If it's not part of the character from the get-go. And the fact that they stuck with it is pretty insane. And I think that was just a really cool thing. You don't really see, especially in animation shows like that are aimed at that kind of age range audience, see something physical like that happen to a character and then continue that way, especially in that kind of emotional dark way. So I think that was pretty insane. And Adventure Time has so many plot twists all the time. It's hard to keep track of all of them. Once they started introducing all the backstory, the Simon and Marcy stuff, all that is insane. The whole Islands miniseries, where they kind of show the origins of what happened with humans. There's just tons. There's heaps on heaps. And so I think in some ways it's kind of crazy to see these, even on Voltron too, the storytelling of these animation shows, which a lot of times almost Trump storytelling of like these crazy on-camera shows, you know? There's like, it's insane to me when we have shows that are in this animation form that honestly, in a lot of ways are better than half the shows you'll see that are on-camera stuff. And so it just really comes down to them just being good shows, period. You know, and like their animation, but it almost, you don't even think of them in that way, I guess, in some ways. You just think of it like, oh, this is just a really good show. And so that's what I love about it.
And one more thing to lighten it up. Cats or dogs?
Ooh.
Dogs. Although if I was Lance, I'd probably say cats.
No!
Lions. Yeah, but in real life, I'm a dog person.
Over here.
When you were you approached to voice act in like the Guardians of the Galaxy video game?
I actually, I still had to audition, but yes. By the way, nice Doctor Strange cosplay.
Thank you.
I guess, and they told me this after the fact, originally I guess for when they were casting the young version of Peter Quill in that game, I guess their template for who they kind of wanted was me. They were like, oh, we want someone like Jeremy Shada who plays the Adventure Time type. But then they, I guess, didn't even audition me at that point, and then they like cast someone else, and I guess they weren't getting what they wanted, so they reopened up the casting and then auditioned me. And then I auditioned and they got it and started working on it, which is an awesome game. It's so much fun to be playing. Even playing like Star-Lord anyway, even if it's just like the young version, is freaking awesome. So it's super fun. But they told me that in the booth. They're like, yeah, originally you were they're like, you were kind of our template for what we wanted. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, sweet.
One more question. How different is voice acting for a video game versus how different is it voice acting for a video game than like voice acting for a TV series?
Your acting is the same, I guess. You're still approaching it and how you would anything. Just, you're playing a character, you're playing the works of the character. The only difference is usually for like Adventure Time or Voltron, we generally try and have most of the cast there to record together. But usually for video games, there's so much stuff that you have to get for every single character, whether it be the cinematic scenes, like an action thing, or all the random sounds that you just plug in here and there. Usually you're recording by yourself. So for most of the Guardians records, I was by myself. There was one record where I was with the lady who plays my mom, but for most of it, you're kind of recording by yourself and just going down through the list of lines.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we have time for just 2 more questions, so we'll go right over here.
If you could choose, like each paladin has their own color and weapon, which weapon and color would your lion be?
Oh, if it wasn't just like me in real life, probably be. I don't know actually. It would maybe maybe a mixture of colors. It's pretty radical, but no, probably I would choose maybe. Actually, I'd probably. I don't know. I would probably go blue. Actually, not because I love that color, so I actually would probably go blue. Maybe have some like gold accents, like little blue and gold. Some more black, more like black, blue, kind of darker colors. And the weapon that I would use, I actually probably dig using a sword. Actually, like a dope long sword, kind of like what Keith has in the show a little bit. But yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, and I'm going to
She's a little nervous.
This is a really ironically awesome cosplay. You are Stormtrooper Finn in Finn's clothing.
Yes, I am.
Do I need to do this one?
Yeah.
Feel yourself. Okay. I have been revealed. I feel like this is a terrible question to end on. Sorry. What's your favorite Star Wars movie?
That's not a terrible question. It's a great question. I think my favorite Star Wars movie is probably Empire Strikes Back.
There you go.
Yeah, I think close second would probably be. I really do like Force Awakens a lot, actually. So that's what I think. But Empire is definitely my all-time thing. It's awesome. So yes. You're welcome. Do we have time for one more? No.
Oh, speed round.
Speed round. Really quick question.
Go. Hi. Oh. go. Wow. Okay. I ran here really fast, like Ferris Bueller from like your photo op thing. So I'm glad I got a question in. I wasn't here for this question, and I heard it was here, so I'm gonna add something to it. If you could ship Finn with any character from Adventure Time, any, even Lumpy Space Princess, who would it be?
Still play Princess. She's hot. All right.
Over here.
What's your favorite Lance line?
Girl, you already activated my.
How often do you screw around with other people with your voice outside of work? Like the drive-through?
Surprisingly not often, actually. I usually, I don't really abuse that power. I usually like people not knowing, and sometimes I've had times where I'm in like a Disneyland, like a very long line, there's someone in front of me that has like an Adventure Time t-shirt, says nothing. Was behind that guy for probably 2 hours, he never knew. That's almost
Thank you so much for all your